Mahila. So I had to go to Firestone to get my car fixed. It was the starter was all messed up. So I go there yesterday after I got my bagel, and I had called my mother because I said the car is just not starting. We got to tow it or something. And so I kept trying, and my hand was going numb trying it. And then I'm like, I finally got it. So I'm like, okay, I call my mom. I'm like, okay, I'm going to somewhere where they can fix it. And if I have to leave it overnight because it was a Sunday, I'm like, we'll just do that and you can pick me up. I'm like, I'm going right now. So I have mafia connections with Tire Choice on Craig, but I told my mom to go there, and then I went to Firestone the opposite way. So then I call her and I'm like, hey, there's a place that was open on Sunday, so I just went there. And she's like, well, where is it at? I'm like, it's on Starboard. And that's my Navy enmity, so I didn't go into detail, and she couldn't find it on her GPS. So then my dad's calling me because she called him, and he's like all pissed off, like, is the car on empty? Where are you at? Tell us the address of the building. So then after a while, after I kind of got upset with my mom for telling my dad, I'm like, look, you're insulting me. Like, it's on Starboard. Like, that's the name of the street. And so then she didn't come pick me up for a while, and I waited a while, and so then I said it's by Brewster's because I went outside and I said it's Brewster's without the EW, it's with a U. And she's like, I know, and it's really good ice cream, but it's not like Grater's. And I said, you know, I'm ready or whatever, and we can go get some lunch, and I'll come back tomorrow and hopefully it'll be done. So I walk out there, and they got a little greenery, grass, like a little lawn where they have Brewster's, and it's right across from this Firestone. So it was nice. It was really nice. And I'm like, I wonder if these guys, when they're on break, if they go over to Brewster's. You know, they're fixing cars and their hands are all dirty, and then they go get ice cream. So I didn't find that out, but so I was walking around like Bane a little bit. I'm like, and I told my mom a few times, I'm like, I'm really getting into action over here. Like, I'm getting this done. It's not going to be Friday that we're rolling in there at like, 4:30 p.m. I'm like, we're getting this done. I'm like, the car is not finished. Like, it's a certain problem. It's probably a jackass problem of something stupid, and we're going to get it fixed, and I'm still going to drive the car. Like, I'm not going to be at the house, like, loitering at the house. Like, I'm going to do my daily activities and really get this done. And I said a few times, like, get into action, really get into action. So I'm walking around like Bane, and I'm like talking to my mom, and I'm really like getting to know the guys. I'm like, well, what do you see on it? He's like, well, it could be the alternator if you said the brake light was on randomly. And it's not the battery, because we checked the battery. And see, the Paul Walker push car, Texas Ranger push car, that got fulfilled yesterday because they had to push this that I'm in right now, this CRV. They had to push it to the garage from the handicap spot that I left it running. I said, look, I just pulled up. I got it running right now because it takes so long to start it. You have to try and your hand goes numb or really tense. And so then they pushed it back there to the garage. So I'm like watching all this. I'm like, man, we got Pushkar. I'm like, oh man. So like we're fulfilling prophecy. So I'm like, okay. So then I'm watching the Avengers, and there's a dinner scene where he's having Chinese. The guy from Michael 6 is having Chinese, and he says, oh, you're like a little puppy. You're like a little puppy having your Chinese. That's what Bradley says. And when I'm at dinner at Outback with my mom, I say Bradley took the mark of the beast, and he's the only one that knew that it was a trap when Thanos didn't have his rings on. I said Bradley was the only one who knew that, and he took the mark of the beast. And everyone feels bad for him because he's a raccoon. So then I'm like, that's what I told my mom. So then, and there was a black man that was at the dinner listening, and he was all dressed up for church, or maybe a job interview. So then, and he was there with his kids that were crying, and it was all this, like, if you took COVID-19, like, you could see, like, monsters. They look like monsters. And that's the COVID-19 that the black man was trying to tell me, because he said, to his son, he was like, he said, Skylar, if you don't wait. That's what he said when I was walking out. I said, thank you, sir, because he held the door open for my mom, and I got the door for his little black woman child. So, but she was already walking out anyway. So then, so we had both doors open. Okay, so then, so that was at Outback on Rainbow Lake Mead, okay, which we don't really go to that one, but we found it on the GPS. I told my mom, like, you don't have to get on the 215 or 95, just go this way. So, so then it was all about Ant-Man not knowing anything, and it was all like against Ant-Man being the A. And they were all against me. They all turned on me because Scarlet says, I wish I could have gotten you with you sooner. That's what Scarlet says. And then, and it's like bad acting. What people say is bad acting because it's the pyramid that they're referencing for bad acting, because there is no bad acting in my view, and I am a thespian. So everyone brings their motivation to the role. That's how I look at it. So, and then Iron Man says, and I hate it, and I hate it. And, Chris Evans was kind of like putzing around, like, and then they bring him his shield, and he's like, they were going to go sledding. It was all this like undertone, like Johnny Depp says, the undertone of the speech was all like Iron Man was calling them names, and this was all against me of that they do this before the deal. They do it before the deal. The individual medley is what they call this. And you have to get past this. It's the day before the deal. So, yeah, so then when I was getting the bagel before all this, I saw 8 Louisiana children had died in Shreveport. That was news. They hadn't named the guy yet who did it, but so I was really on edge with the Avengers. They, because that was the last time we were all together before COVID-19, and it was like it was all about COVID, and it was all about these monsters that the people can see at lunch or dinner, that they're eating with people and seeing all this, and that the women are scared or they're in on it, or that they're seeing these monsters, the people that took off the mask of the COVID. It was like that was the next step. So it was all, the movie was all about the A, and it was all these like undertones of like, we're still fighting, like we still have jobs, like you have to get a job and be successful. Like they were really hitting me hard with all that. And the thing is, when I was going through Babcon, and like I was asleep in the minivan after I saw the movie, or like waited for the movie at the movie theater in Richmond, I never had those feelings that they were against me. I always thought that they were on my side. So then today it came full circle because I watched at Firestone again. My dad took me there after going through the neighborhoods on his way to drop off my mom at work at school, the high school, and he went through this neighborhood that kind of reminded me of Copperfield. It had like a broken down car and stuff, and it was like it was 90s version a little bit. And my dad went all this secret way, and my mom yesterday after Outback went this secret way to get to the gated community, and it was off the highway even. I'm like, wow, I've never been this way, which I should know, but it's stupid that I just don't. I just keep it the farming way is the way that I go. So yeah, it was all this like back way stuff that my dad was doing way back in there, where he knows all these like really nice villa houses and stuff. And so my dad took me to Firestone today, and he's like, do you want me to wait? And I'm like, no, we're good. And he's got like a swim meet this weekend and stuff in Mesquite, and he's getting ready for region and states in 3 weeks for swimming. He's a swim coach, and yeah, top 4 make it. He was telling me all about these girls that he has that are really good, and the boys he thinks 2 might not make it to state, and 1 girl might not make it, but the rest will. They're all really solid, just really solid. One girl is going in the backstroke and the fly, and I think 200 free or something. But so then so he was telling me that, and then I told him, did he like that kosher burger that he had, because that's over on North Apache. And he's like, yeah, I did. And I went over there and got the kosher meat, and I got a shampoo too from over there, and I've been using the shampoo, and I really like it. It's all Hebrew writing on the shampoo bottle. I can't read it, but it's good shampoo. So it's 2-in-1. I know it's 2-in-1, but I got kosher burgers from over there. So that was last week. I ate with my family twice. Both for kind of Passover, but not in the outer sense. But so then they had on The Office. So then I really connected with Dwight on The Office. I thought he was the only good character. Michael is kind of like Cody, and then the blonde is kind of like Allie Flath, and then Megan McCain is kind of like the Karen when she does her hair up. She in the when I was watching, she had it up. She looked really pretty, but the way that they do her hair normally, they make her look really mannish. And see, Michael got on the floor and was getting kicked by the guy who's kind of a bigger guy. He was getting kicked by him whenever they call her the man. So I noticed all these little details, and I'm like, well, they're not really against me, because even the Karen, not the Karen, but the woman who is against the Megan character, the Karen, because they like the guy from Aloha, who has different hair in Aloha. He's got better hair in Aloha. He looks more like a man in Aloha. He looks kind of like a bitch in this, and I don't really like him. I don't like him at all, but I do like him in Aloha, the film with Bradley Cooper, and we're just talking about Bradley Cooper. So that I only like him in Aloha. I don't like him in anything else. Yeah, like, so they're after the Jim character, and she's like, I can read his neck, and she's like, she said something that she's like, don't fall asleep at the desk. She said, don't fall asleep at the desk. It was gold. It was really, really high level gold, high level thinking. I'm like, wow, this is really in tune with everything. Like, I broke it down in the code. I'm like, wow, she's really in tune. I'm like, man, she's really fighting a Freemason fight. Like, she's really getting the information out there. And that was the girl who's opposite Karen for the same man. And she looks kind of Irish or Scots-Irish a little bit. She's a good character. but I don't think she's as pretty as the other two, but she's a good character. So then I was watching this, I'm like, and then I'm standing up like Bane. I'm like standing up, I'm like, okay. And I go up there, I talk to the guy. He had a girlfriend in Savannah. He's all about his girlfriend from Savannah. And I'm like, oh, the cobblestone down there, that's what he said. I'm like, yeah, it reminded me of the cobblestone because it's hard to drive down there because you're going over stones. It's the cobblestone. I'm like, yeah, the mafia was down there. And, I went to school down there, and they really built up the suburbs, and the Midtown and Central Town is kind of like the country style, because he said he would deliver food and stuff. I'm like, yeah, it's that country cupboard style, and it's like that with the Spanish moss trees. It's very cool. They did that on purpose. And so of course that soap opera guy died because they shot soap operas in Savannah, but that was before I even talked to him about it. And then, so it was like, it was prophecy kind of the day. And then, so I got along with him great. And then they fixed the starter. It was a little over $1,000, and the car's not even worth like $3,000. And I'm like, and I told him that. I'm like, look, I don't want to get much else fixed. I'm like, do the diagnostic. Like it's sick, like it's a sick car, do the diagnostic. He's on the phone saying that. And I'm like, run the diagnostic, but I don't want to do much more because I don't have the money to pay for this. And I told my mom, I'm like, look, I'm going to these places like I'm homeless. Like I got to get it done today, because I can't like do all this all day long. Like I gotta, get it done. I gotta like really, and I said like action, really get them into action over there so that it gets done. Like let them know like, I'm here to get it done. I'm not here to wait all day and have like a sleepover. Like, oh, you're gonna leave the keys in the Dropbox. Like, I'm not doing all that. I don't have like a person to come pick me up. And I told her that, the big Mexican girl. I told her like, look, I don't have like, somebody coming to pick me up. Like, I got to get it done. So then at Outback, I asked the woman how she was. I said, how are you today? And she was Mexican, really pretty Mexican girl, and her breasts, I noticed they were hard. And I'm like, whoa, did she just get out of the kitchen or something? Was she in the freezer getting something? I'm like, all I said was, how are you today? And I'm like, does no one ever ask her that? Like, does no one ask her how she's doing? I mean,